Alright, this video is about what I think about what does it mean to be psychic. Uh, First thing, for me anyways, I believe I'm psychic. I maybe, I'm a Pisces. I have a lot of Scorpio. I'm very close to, to very paranormal things. I'm so much into like things like ghosts and aliens, and I mean this world, this place is kind of boring to me. So the idea that there's something else other than this place excites me. And but anywho, you got people who claim that they're psychic. Now I believe that most of the people who claim they're psychic are more likely not psychic. It's hard to tell who is legitimate, who's not. But one thing I can validate is I am definitely someone who if you would call it psychic, I call it psychology. I'm very in tune with my psychology, how I work, both consciously and subconsciously, and uh, being able to bring out subconscious memories and bring them into the conscious level of the mind, then being able to spew them out with words is the thing that I do. But do I have a connection to the other side? I maybe. I mean, sometimes I guess I'm just not. I'm a very intellectual person, so it's very hard for me to just sometimes feel, and I guess that's why I need I need somebody that who's into this stuff, who can sort of train me, about how do you trust your intuition, because I'm a very since I intellectualize my emotions, and I think that's a good thing, but I do enjoy that soft, just, I don't like to intellectualize everything. Like if you're in love or you love somebody, I don't want to sit here and just say I love you because blah 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 blah. Blah. I just want to say I love you, and that's it. It's like it doesn't need all this explanation, as to why I love this person. It can be just a quote unquote feeling. Like I said, I love smart things, but I really also love emotional things. So, but now I'm going to ask, how would you, if you're, especially if you're not a water sign, how would you uh, become a psychic? Well, psychic is a very broad term because everybody is psychic to a degree. Now, when I say psychic, I refer to as psychology. Everybody is in tune with their psychology a little bit. Some people, like I consider myself, are very much aware of their own psychology. But if you're not a water sign, how do you get in touch with that? Well, it's easy to get in touch with your conscious mind. If I asked you to think of an apple and you did, well, that's your conscious mind. But if I asked you, where was that image of that apple? Like if I asked you to think of an apple and think of it like, it's staring, like it's right in front of you, and I told you, all right, make that apple red. Okay, you can picture a red apple. Then I change it and I say, all right, make that a green apple, and you did that. Well, where was that information? Where was that image in your head? Where was that? Information? I just said it. Where was that information in your head? It was in your subconscious. But how do you have access to your subconscious? Well, people do things like meditation, and I'm not one to wear a garment and sit on the floor Indian style and uh, go or anything. I'm not into that stuff. But if you were able to take your conscious mind and go into a subconscious state, then with your conscious mind, you can then start to decipher subconscious things. And that is kind of the best way I can describe it because that's what I do. You know, uh, I'm not sure if I have if I have a foolproof plan to explain to you if it will work or not. Like give you a plan that'll actually work guaranteed. But that's just generally what I do. Is I put myself in a subconscious state, but I remain alert. Now that's very much what the description of of meditation. But I guess my version is kind of like a mixture of both Eastern philosophy and Western philosophy. I like combining the both. So I would suggest that you go to sleep like you normally do. Just go to sleep, but remain alert. And when I mean remain alert, I mean don't think, don't chit chat, but just don't fall asleep. And what will actually happen is your brain, when and turn off the lights. Turn off the lights. Turn off everything. Now, most people don't know this, but, if you isolate yourself, if you were put into an isolation chamber, you would start to hallucinate. Your brain is designed to constantly look for information. And when it does not find that information, that's when it starts to hallucinate. And in other words, I think, anyways, it's going from trying to search information from a conscious mind, like your normal five senses, to trying to search for subconscious stuff. And in the subconscious mind, everything is just all over the place. There is nothing makes any sense. In fact, when you dream, you are in a subconscious state, and that's why a lot of times when you dream, these memories are, these visions that you see don't usually sometimes make any sense. Sometimes you do have a dream that does make sense, but to me, I think the building blocks come from the subconscious mind, and something to do with the conscious mind maybe structures some of that dream, so that some of that dream does make sense. I don't know if I'm making any sense to any of you, but this is the stuff that I have theorized over the years. Another thing I just thought about, and what are symbols? What do symbols and psychic have anything to do with each other? Well, again, I don't use the word psychic. I use the word psychology. Let's put it this way: if you see the McDonald's symbol, and you don't actually see the words McDonald's, well, the information of what that symbol means is in your subconscious mind. When you see that symbol, you don't have to know anything else. You know what it is, you know what it's for, all explained in that one symbol. And when they flash that symbol in your face, at the right time, at the right place, let's put it this way, if there's an area in which they know that people are gonna go travel, from place to place. Like there's like these, like my town, for instance. There's a lot of people go in my town to get to other towns. So if you have a business right there in the middle, and you flash that symbol, you're going to tell a lot of people, hey, if you're hungry, come to us. And they deliberately put those stores in these certain locations because they know that people are going to catch on. That they know that these people they know that is the place to make business. The bad thing about this is when you're bombarded by these symbols, they will eventually provoke you to want to follow. So if you see, when I go to a grocery store, I see symbols all over the place. Always, it's always flashing. For instance, just the package alone, like Ruffles. When I see Ruffles chips being sold right, in front of the, they got the food in the middle of the aisles, and they're flashing that right in your face. And when you're bombarded with all these different, symbols for junk food, you're going to be impulsed on a subconscious level to go purchase those those pieces of shit. Let's face it, it's a junk food. If they were to promote healthy eating, people would follow that because they would be bombarded. People typically, follow whatever is usually, in their face all the time. So be on the lookout. Protect your psyche. Don't just go immediately, oh, I'm hungry, that means McDonald's. No, it does not. You're hungry, but don't just get wrapped up into the whole, environment, don't get wrapped up in the norm of just, oh, I'm hungry, that means McDonald's. Think about it first. Think about it. You're hungry, so go find something that isn't so, trashy, like McDonald's. Anyways, I am done, and I will talk to you later. Thank you for listening.